The purpose of this video is to give you a quick overview of the Capital Vending 2-hopper control board designed for Rowe dollar bill changers. This control board, when installed in the cabinet, replaces the old power supply and the control board and enables you to hook up a Mars bill validator. This control board has the ability to process 1 through 20s depending on the model of the validator installed. This board typically will interface with 320 volt Mars validators. Up here we have a Legend, the AE2400, AE26, VN2500, and with this board kit, this tells you how to set the dip switches. So in the event that you ever take out a validator and have to put in a different model, that's a good reference as to how to set the dip switches. Next part of this control board, printed right on it, it has what we call the status code. So in the event of a malfunction, the status LED will blink a certain amount of times. You don't want to just come to the board and hit reset and clear that, because that's kind of giving you a clue as to what's wrong. The typical errors, if you get a 2 error, that's timeout. That means that one of the hoppers ran over 16 seconds without seeing a coin. So if that's the case, you might have an unlevel machine, or your hoppers may need to be cleaned. 3 blinks is overpay. If that was to happen, typically the clutch on the motor is defective and has actually paid out an extra coin. 4 blinks, security. You'll get that in the event that it's not able to count money. So in that case, you would take the hoppers out of the machine, reset it, and look at the emitter and detectors on the payout assembly. Very important with the Capital Vending control board, the emitters are not lit when it's at standby. So if you have an incandescent bulb, you won't see that white bulb. Hopefully you've updated to a red LED bulb. So it's Rowe machines, that red LED would be on all the time. With this board, we just turn it on when it needs to come on. So if the red LED has gotten old and it doesn't light enough, or the detector that it shines into cannot count money, you'll get your security code. So now I'm going to talk about programming on this. Before doing any programming, I would turn this needs to be turned off in the machine. What's interesting with this is you have the ability to program the payouts for 2 hoppers. In the event one of your hopper motors goes bad, or the emitter and detector on one side stop working, you can program one side of this to function while you get the parts to repair the other side. It's also very helpful when you're troubleshooting it to disable one side of the machine and test the other side. So I'm going to kind of talk about how to program one side for troubleshooting, and then how to have both hoppers active for normal use. Right now, for this video, I've turned all the switches to the off position. When this board arrives in the box from Capital Vending, it'll be programmed to pay out 4 quarters for a $1. It'll be programmed to pay out 20 coins per $5 value inserted. This control board does not have the ability to do bonus coins if you're taking cash and giving out tokens. So here's an explanation of my dip switches. Right here, it has the value that corresponds to the switches printed. So it's 1, 2, 4, 8, and then MC, I'll explain that, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. These top 2 switches are for the $1 bill. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, I'm going to program this to pay out 2 coins for each hopper, for each $1 bill value accepted. So to do that, I'm going to switch number 2 and number 2 to the on position. So for each $1 bill, I get 2 coins from this hopper, 2 coins from this hopper. While the hoppers are active, there's little red green LEDs here that'll light, so you know that the hoppers are on. Now, in the event that I was doing troubleshooting and I was getting a failure on my status, what I would do is actually program just one of these. So I would turn all the switches to the left, for instance, on this left dip bank, and then I would only be using the right. Sometimes I program it to pay out a lot of coins so I can really see what's happening, but just by using one side, you'll be able to, that'll help you figure out what's wrong with the machine. So I'm going to go back here and talk about programming this for $1, getting 2 coins for a $1 value from each hopper. The way we accept 5s, 10s, and 20s, this bank here corresponds to the amount of coins that are dispensed for each $5 value accepted. So for $5, I want to dispense 20 coins. So dip switch number 2 corresponds to 2 coins. Dip switch number 4 is for 8 coins. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 and 4 on. So that way, for a $5 bill, you get 20 coins. I program it to do 10 coins out of each hopper. So I would turn the board back on. Never a bad idea. You can always just hit reset, and then the board will record the new values. So the next optional video, I'm going to kind of discuss how to do what I call the maximum change payout. Then I'm also going to discuss how to do payouts if you're dispensing quarters and dollar coins.